When you're running ads on Facebook, one of the most important things is obviously targeting. And as you probably already know, there's many ways you can target on Facebook. You can target based on custom audiences. In other words, people who are already a customer of you. But obviously, one of the most and well-known ways of targeting on Facebook is what's called interest-based targeting. So this is the type of targeting where you go into your Facebook ads account and you literally say like, I wanna show my Facebook ads to people who are interested in this and this and this subject. So people who are interested in Coca-Cola, in Pepsi, etc., etc. However, there's almost everyone is making 5 major critical mistakes, and that's what I want to go into in this very video. My name is Wilco the Kreij, and I'll be honest, I made all of these mistakes myself as well. I mean, it's all practice, right? And we'll have to learn by making mistakes, and I wanted to share all of my mistakes with you so you can all avoid them yourself as well. So mistake number 1. Most Facebook advertisers don't fully understand how Facebook decides who is inside of an interest. So if you're targeting that interest, who's actually going to see it? A lot of people, they think that if someone has liked a Facebook page, then that is why they're in that interest. And that is part of it. However, if you're going to compare any kind of interest with how many likes a certain Facebook page has with the exact same name, you'll notice that the interest is always it's always way bigger, right? And that is because Facebook uses a lot of different data to decide who is inside of a certain interest. So even if they've never liked that Facebook page before, then chances are they may still be in that interest, because an interest on Facebook ads and a Facebook page, they're not the same thing, right? So I think that's where a lot of advertisers are making mistakes as well, because they think that, hey, I want to reach the fans of this particular Facebook page, but that's not possible anymore. It used to be possible back in the day, but right now Facebook makes the interest way bigger than that, even to people who've never liked a certain Facebook page in particular. Mistake number 2 is that a lot of advertisers, they sort of think that every interest is equal, or at least it seems that way. Well, in fact, there's a big difference between them. I'll give you some examples, right? So let's say you are going to target golf, the interest golf, because you're selling something golf related. Now, who do you think is going to see that? Are people going to see who are just casually golfing on a Sunday, who watch it on TV, or maybe the pros? Like, there's absolutely no way how you can be certain. So you'll have to dial a bit deeper. But even when you do that, let's say you're going to target Tiger Woods, right? Now, do you think that everyone who's into Tiger Woods is actually playing golf? No, probably not. I mean, he's so famous, he's even famous outside of golf. Even though he's like probably the number one golfer around, it's not like, it doesn't mean that his audience, or like people who are following him, or that Facebook thinks that they're following him, they're not necessarily into golf. If you would go a level deeper and you would target Bubba Watson, then all of a sudden, like, you'll get people who are actually they're more enthusiastic about golf, because he's not as famous. And you'll notice this often, right? So as the more public you go, the more well-known your target. Like, let's say you target Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're not going to target only bodybuilders, right? So when you're going to target certain interests, you want to take into account how famous they are, right? Because the more famous they are, then chances are the audience is not as targeted. Now, a third mistake that I see people making is that they are going for the most obvious interest. So just like I just mentioned, people would target golf because they don't know what else to target, right? But that is the biggest mistake you can make. If you go just for the obvious ones, then you're basically fighting against everyone else on the Facebook ad platform, which, as you know, it's a bidding war, right? Like, you're bidding against each other. So if you're going for the same interest that everyone else is going after, then you're out of luck. So you'll need to be more clever and more sophisticated than that. So there's basically 3 different ways how you can easily do that. Number 1 is, like I just mentioned, go for famous people and famous brands. So instead of just searching for fishing, go for like what are the biggest famous people in that market? Who are like the biggest brands that are marketing towards the target audience that you want to reach? So go for famous people and brands inside your market. Secondly, ask yourself, like, what else does your ideal customer buy? Because maybe they're into golf, or maybe they're into something, but like, what else are they interested in? I mean, let's say you're targeting people who are into fishing, they're probably also interested in like the outdoor stuff. So maybe instead of just going into fishing, you may want to look for like, what are the famous people in the outside, like, I don't know, outside scene, like the rough kind of things, right? Like, just go, instead of just deeper in your own market, try to like look sideways and see if there's like related markets that serve the exact same customer as you do, and see if you can target those people, because those people are the exact same people you want to target. So number one, famous people and brands. Number two, go sideways in different markets that are serving the exact same customer. And tip number three, to avoid the most obvious interest, is to use clever tools to do it. I mean, if you would go into your Facebook Ads Manager and you would enter a certain search keyword, then you're probably going to get like 20 results. Now, if you would use a tool like Connect Explore, or for example, our free tool, which you'll find at connectio.io/keyword-interest-search. It's a free tool where you can just enter in your keyword and you'll get more results compared to just the normal Facebook Ads Manager. And you can just copy paste them right into your Facebook Ads Manager in just a second. And these kind of tools, they help you to find interest that you will not be able to find without it. And number four, a major issue that I see people making is they do not split test, A/B split test, to see which interests are actually working. People just create a Facebook ad and they add in, for example, 5 or 10 or maybe even more different interests, and they're just gonna hope that all of them are the exact same. Well, some may work for your Facebook ads and some maybe not. Some may be profitable, some may be losing money. And because you don't know, your overall ad may be losing and you're like, this is not working for me, so I just need to change it or delete it or whatever. While in fact, if you would have split tested your different one actually performs well, then you would know, right, I'm just going to remove these 3, I'm going to keep these 8 because these interests are working well for my business, right? And people don't do it, and I totally understand. Trust me, I do, because right now, using the normal Facebook Ads Manager, what you need to do is you'll have to basically create a campaign first, right? And inside that campaign, you'll have to create an ad set for each individual interest. So you will have to add an ad set, add one interest in there, and then basically create the ad, and then duplicate that ad set over and over and over again. Let's say you have 30 different interests. You'll have to create 30 different ad sets, and for every single one, you'll have to be spending money, right, in order to get some results. So even if it's just $5 a day, times 30 is still $150 a day just for trying it out. So I totally understand why people don't do it, although I do want to mention that using Connect Explore, you can actually break down all your interest or all your stats on an interest per interest basis. So even for your existing ads, even if it's just one interest, one ad set and one ad, and you've got just 50 different interests in there, or what you can do is you can simply select the ad and we'll break down your statistics on an interest per interest basis, so you can actually see with certainty which ones are working and which ones are not. And you can just remove the ones that are not working, so that you can actually improve your campaign over time by targeting your Facebook ads only to the actual interests that are working for you. So that's definitely a big mistake I see people making. They're not split testing, and you gotta split test if you want to make Facebook ads work. And mistake number 5, people do not use layering. And what I mean with layering is that you could, on Facebook, you could target people who are, for example, interested in Coca-Cola. You could also say, hey, I want to target everyone who's into Coca-Cola or Pepsi, for example, right? Now, what you can do using layering is basically target the overlapping segment. So now, instead of saying, hey, I want to target everyone who is into Coca-Cola or in Pepsi, no, I only want to show my Facebook ads to people who are inside of the Coca-Cola interest as well as the Pepsi interest. And that way you will know that according to Facebook, they're interested in 2 of these things. And you can obviously even go a level deeper, where you add 3 layers, where you can say, hey, I want to target everyone who is into Coca-Cola, into Pepsi, and into Sprite, and only the overlapping segment between these 3. And by doing that, your audience becomes suddenly way more targeted. And there's multiple ways you can do that. You can do it manually inside the Facebook Ads Manager, but if you happen to be a customer of Connect Explore, you'll be able to do that easily as well. You find it all in the dashboard. So these are the 5 biggest mistakes I see people making when it's about Facebook interest-based targeting for your Facebook ads. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate that. And with that having said, I'll see you all in the next video.